Hey everyone, and welcome back to the ATD Movie Channel on YouTube. I'm Tony, and today I'll be reviewing Thor Ragnarok, the latest film starring Chris Hemsworth and directed by Taika Waititi. Let's jump right into it. If you thought this was going to be like the other Thor movies, you're sadly mistaken, because I'm telling you right now, it's really different. Let me get into what I liked about the movie, because there really wasn't much I didn't like about it. I'll start with the tone of the film. It's very different, and it's going to take some getting used to if you're a returning fan of the Thor franchise. That being said, I am one of the few that enjoyed the first two films, and I kind of want to make that clear from the get-go. This is a much funnier and a much lighter film. And I'll get into the comedy a little bit later, so I just want to talk about tone right now. What I really liked about the tone of the film was that it's very self-aware. There's some jokes that are really poking fun at itself and its ridiculousness, but I think that the movie earned the right to make those jokes, so it didn't feel like it was pandering to the audience. Also worth noting is the color palette and the cinematography in general. It's vibrant, it's colorful, it's beautiful to look at the entire 2 hours that it's on the screen. Unlike other superhero films that are all about being dark and gritty, this just tried something different. You're going to hear me say that multiple times throughout this review. I'll talk about the cast now, which is amazing. I don't want to give away any of the cool cameos, so I'll stick to the core cast that's been highlighted in the trailers. Chris Hemsworth returns, and he's just great. And who knew the guy could do comedy? I had no idea that he could be a comedic actor. I haven't seen any of his movies where he's really had to, not to the level that's highlighted in this movie. So let me be clear, this is a comedy film. This is a comedy that just so happens to be about superheroes. And Hemsworth is the driving force behind that comedy. His timing, his wit, his charm, all of that is on full display in this film. Also, I want to talk about Cate Blanchett. She joins the franchise as Hela, a sinister villain who poses a grave threat to Thor and Asgard as a whole. Blanchett gets to stretch her acting chops into a new genre we really haven't seen her in before. The Oscar winner doesn't disappoint. She fully embraces the bad in her character. And if you see the movie, check out the little nuances in her performance. I think you're going to be really surprised. From the way that she walks, to the way that she uses her hands to talk. I mean, all of this is to create the character that's going to intimidate her victims. And it was just so great. Like, I really enjoyed every minute that she was on screen. Really, really good stuff. Jeff Goldblum's also new to the cast, and he did great. He's friggin' hilarious as the Grand Master. He's funny, he's flamboyant, and he has a lovable quality about him. We really should not like this character, guys, and by the end of it, I really wanted to see more of him. Tessa Thompson does a good job as Valkyrie, and she shows that she belongs alongside the other great actors in the film. Now, she has a much bigger role than what the trailers give you, but I don't want to give it away in this review. I wish I had more time to dive into every actor, but I'll tell you, in general, Tom Hiddleston, Mark Ruffalo, Anthony Hopkins, Carl Urban, and Idris Elba give wonderful performances that all vary in the amount of screen time they get in the movie. They all do a great job, and they all add something to the movie through story or dialogue, what have you. All were terrific additions to the film. The writing and the improv that led to some of the funniest moments in the film are top-notch. The writers just went for it, so to speak. They tried different things, and almost all of it worked. There were a few times where perhaps a more serious approach would have made more sense and gave the audience a longer lasting impression on the film, but it's okay. The filmmakers went in a completely different direction, and I'm okay with that. The fact that these Marvel filmmakers are trying something different in general is a good thing. Towards the end of 2016, we were all criticizing the MCU for the same reasons, saying that it was basically a cookie-cutter franchise with one movie after the other starting to all blend together with really unmemorable results. So I really like that they tried something different. Speaking of the writing, I like that this is undoubtedly a Thor film. It's got Easter eggs in it, it's got connections to the MCU, obviously, but the focus was Thor. And more specifically, his character arc from the beginning to the end of the film was not only believable, but I felt one of the most effective that we've seen in these standalone films starring these Marvel characters. It's really, really good. The visual effects are top notch, and I want that to be absolutely clear in this review. The gladiator fight that's highlighted in the trailer is phenomenal. I really enjoyed that. But I have to have one single criticism related to this film. None of the action was memorable. I literally just left the theater about 30 minutes ago, and I couldn't describe one single action sequence outside of the gladiator battle with the Hulk. And that's okay. It's not a big deal, and it's not a deal breaker. I couldn't tell you some of the action sequences in what I consider to be fantastic films. So it's not a deal breaker, but for me personally, I left not really having a lasting impression based on the action in the film. Now, all in all, this is a great film. Not only that, but it's one of the best Marvel films they've ever made. And even more specifically, it's the best Thor film in the franchise. Even though Marvel has a tendency to swap out its directors from one film to its sequel, I really hope Waititi returns for another go at this character, because what he did and what he was able to put in the final product is just so unique. We need more of that, not just for Marvel and not just for the superhero genre, but for film in general. I can't wait to watch more of this guy's movies after watching this. So let me know what you guys think. Are you guys fans of the Thor franchise? Did you like the first two? And if you've seen this movie, leave a comment below and let me know what you guys thought in relation to what I'm saying here today. I'm a huge fan. I absolutely loved it. I can't recommend it enough to people who are on the fence because they didn't enjoy the first two. So let me know in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be notified of content uploaded regularly. And you can find other movie reviews on the channel as well. Thanks for watching the review for Thor Ragnarok. I'll talk to you soon.